What's up, everybody? So a note about today's episode that I wanted to mention because I thought it just wouldn't make sense if I didn't mention it, I feel like. This interview was actually recorded a long time ago in 2024. The reason I'm just publishing it now is two reasons, actually. One, I wanted this to be a December episode. I've known Tim for years, and it just made sense for this to be a December episode. And two, the reason it didn't make last December was because there's really nothing topical in this episode. It's a more thematic episode. We talk about comedy and Tim's journey and filmmaking, so it's just getting published now. The one thing that we do talk about is Tim's appearance on the show Kill Tony. Now, I still know very, very little about Kill Tony. Tim's appearance is still one of several clips I've watched ever. But this interview was recorded before Tony Hinchcliffe campaigned for Trump and all of that stuff. So you might be thinking, if you didn't know that, you're listening to this interview, wow, it's kind of weird they didn't mention, all those things about Kill Tony. It's weird Ron didn't mention that at all. Well, the reason I didn't mention it is because it had not happened yet. All right, enjoy today's episode. Episode 119, Tim Warner. Tim Warner is a comedian, podcaster, and filmmaker. Most importantly, though, he's Tim Warner. I've known Tim for a long time. We did comedy together in Seattle when I was first starting out. He had been doing it in New York a few years prior. Tim released a short film on YouTube called Quitter. I loved it. It captured what I was trying to do in Loner, but, at least in my opinion, didn't quite capture. Quitter was done exclusively on a phone. We dive into it. Please welcome to the show, Tim Warner. Tim Warner, it has been too long, my friend. How are you?
Yeah, very well, man. Very well. Blessed, loved, and highly favored, like every other stupid idiot on this planet. How are you?
I'm good, man. It's been a while. I'm excited to talk to you. So let's start basic. I mean, you and I go back to the Seattle days. We were both in Seattle at the same time, a lifetime ago. But for anyone who's not familiar with you, who is Tim Warner?
Oh, wow. Jesus. I'm going to fucking fumble through this like I'm Kamala Harris. Jesus. Who is Tim Warner? Man, I guess I'm just a guy from Syracuse, dude. At the end of the day, I'm just a guy from Syracuse, New York, man. That's it. I don't even know if I'm me. Are you really you? Like, what kind of question is that? Because my fucking, what is it? The 21 grams, whatever the hell. That's going to go float off into somewhere, some other dimension, take some other steering wheel of some other flesh machine, So what am I? I am hopefully more than anything an energy. I don't know if I want to say positive, but I will say optimistic because you can't spell optimism without Tim, right?
Yes.
So hopefully an optimistic energy, contagious energy, that is here for a limited time, and I hope more people get my energy than people got COVID.
I knew you were going to give an answer like that, which is why I asked it. Like, I knew, like I wouldn't have asked that question if I knew you were going to go, I'm a comedian, and I knew you weren't going to say that, which is what I wanted. So,
well, that's. Have you looked at a lot of comedians lately? I don't know if I want to be on that boat, man. I'd rather be Tim Warner. I think I tried being a comedian for a long time, and it made me fucking miserable. So I think I'm just going to be me. And,
Are you getting on stage right now? You're getting on stage again, aren't you?
I don't know, dude. I was. And the last couple months, I haven't. I miss performing. A lot of the stuff I do is like open mics Or sometimes like a comic will hit me up for hey dude, I want you to do the show, whatever else. And, it's like, all right, maybe some money and a meal, and you drive an hour and a half, and it's like 4 people, and you just question your whole existence on the ride home, even though your belly's full. Um, so it's I don't know. I don't miss comedians. I don't miss I don't know. I've gotten picky. And also, I feel like I don't know where the artists are, to be honest with you. And I don't know if it's a product of the times, perhaps. But you know, even even when I was coming up, there was still like internet and shit and stuff, right? But there was that kind of like, hey, have you seen fucking Ron Placone? And it's like, no, it's like, oh, dude, you should check out his act. Especially like you're in New York, there's new people coming in or whatever else, or there's some older people. It's like, you haven't checked out this guy. Oh, you got to see him. It's a fucking beast. And you didn't go to a YouTube or a Twitter or like some kind of thing to watch them do stand up. You had to seek it out. And I think there's a lost gratitude right now, like in society, with the fact that there's so many things that we can just get basically in our hands, like within an app or even a website. Food, it just comes to you wherever you are. You can have someone, you know what I mean? It's like the driving, going to a restaurant, sitting and waiting to get your table, to sit at a table, to get your water, your appetizer, bread, to get the meal, maybe a little bit of dessert, chew the fat, whatever else, right? And then jam out, like that experience. And you go home, it's like, wow, it's a fucking really great meal. That was a great time. I feel like an alien amongst a lot of comedians. Um, and that's just me. So I don't know. I'm about to approach like 2 years clean,
Congrats.
and a lot of people say, and I get it. A lot of people say, like, kind of when you get sober, you just gotta fucking throw away your old life in a sense, like your old friends and your old stomping grounds and all of that. And I kind of can't do that in a sense, And I think also too, this is the first time that I have an opportunity with work at it, but I could become independent, like through YouTube, and then whatever other resources could kind of branch off of that, um, which will then open a lot of doors. Um, but I don't know. I'm beating around the bush, dude. I don't like the fucking overall. I don't like the comedy in Austin. I like living
Well,
here, but I don't like the comedy in Austin.
how'd you end up in Austin? I wanted to ask you that.
Basically, the pandemic. Like I
Okay.
didn't. I left the last election and lived in my car. And the idea at the time was like, I'm going to travel around while the stimulus where they're actually doing shit. So went to like Kentucky, Alabama, it was insane. It was fucking amazing. Florida, like, Mississippi, Texas, Arizona, Utah, Idaho. It was incredible. Incredible. Even did some shit in San Diego. Um, yeah. And then when I was in Austin, um, the potential for things at the time, you know, um, and I kind of thought, I guess what I did was I put an expectation in my head that's unfair to life, but I did this. I kind of thought at the time, like, man, you got Rogan here. There's supposed to be a club opening up, so there's the podcast here, whatever else. That's gonna bring people, and I thought it was gonna bring like a very, not all of them, but kind of a Carlin-esque kind of Hicksian, maybe, some Stanhope. I thought because of the pandemic, there would have been like more need of, I guess, like rebel rousers in a sense,
Okay.
like
Yeah.
outlaws, people going like, wait a minute, what are we doing? Just standing in line, getting all jabbed up without at least asking questions, yada, yada. And, it's just shut up, put on your mask and don't go outside. It's like, oh God, why? Don't ask why. Just fucking watch another episode of Cheers. It's like, oh, okay. And to me, that didn't happen. I thought like a grunge of comedy could blossom out of this. And instead, a lot of LA influenced the way they do things. It's more like a fucking glam rock. It's like Poison and fucking Tesla and Bon Jovi. And I just,
So we lost you for like a brief moment while you were giving that answer. So basically, during the pandemic, you just went around to all the places that didn't close,
right?
And you just all right. That was the part we missed. Were you doing comedy in all those places? Like just going, okay. So you just went around, just did comedy anywhere you could.
Yeah, and it was the best. It was the best. Like, I did that shit a bunch where you perform in front of cars. Like people are in their cars.
Oh yeah, I did some of that.
Oh, how great is that?
I kind of liked it. It was kind of neat, and then it was also sort of neat because you would see that interaction where you would kind of, if somebody was able to go up to the stage and be put on the Jumbotron, you would see them from your car when they were going up to the stage, and you would wave from your car, and that was our green room for a little bit. And as a guy who always loved the drive-in, it was kind of neat. And I mean, it's not the same, but it has its place. And I know this is a topic of controversy. I'm curious your take on it, but I dig the Zoom shows. I think they're fun. What did you like them or no? You didn't like them?
No. Well, like even in a sense, there's a part of me that hates this that's happening right now. Like I understand, but see, like as a necessity, I feel the same way with like AA meetings on Zoom.
Okay.
Like I understand if you're somebody for whatever reasons you can't leave your place, or perhaps there's a home group you were at for a number of years and you had to move away for a job, so you tune in. But there's a level of intimacy that
totally.
Yeah, and
it's not the same, but
the car thing. There, I don't know. I found there is like a level of intimacy with like. Laughing was the wipers, clapping was the headlights, and like it just got used to it. You just had to get used to not hearing yourself amplified because it's like on a radio frequency in the car. But then you could stand there as everyone leaves with your cards or whatever and give people cards, got your QR code, scan that, check out my shit. I got stuff on, fucking YouTube, whatever. There were elements of that I really liked. I mean, nothing beats being in a very small, packed room.
Of course. Yeah, nothing beats that. I mean, I don't know. I like the neat thing about Zoom is you can't beat the commute, and I feel like you can still. I don't know. I mean, I open for Judah Friedlander sometimes, and he's a guy. He really mastered the Zoom thing. Like he has figured it out like no other. And it's a lot of fun. It's not quite the same as a live show. Nothing is. But, it has its place. It has its place. I mean, sometimes I'll do Zoom shows for patrons. Like, I'll do, like, a Zoom show. Because, patrons, they're all over the place. It's not like I could just be like, hey, I'm going to do a show just for patrons in this town. Because they're scattered all over the place. So it's like I do a thing on Zoom where I like work on some new jokes and hang out with whatever patrons can make it on Zoom, wherever they're at in the world. And, it's got its place. I mean,
that's interesting.
It's got its place. Yeah. But yeah, I know some people, they just they can't stand it, which I get, but I don't know. I kind of like it.
I'm very human conditioned.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like this might be the end of days when it
Sure.
comes to just the human aspect of life. I really feel like it's slipping away, you know? So to me, any way that we could be a community, we could be intimate with ourselves, you know? Even something stupid like going to a movie where there's a bunch of strangers and just reacting to that film while you're all watching it. There's, you know, one person is energy, right? And then you get a bunch of them together. That's all shared energy, and that's a really great thing because at the
Sure.
end of the day, we're all just fucking one of some fucking beam of light or some crazy person's, you know, computer simulation that they're just having fun with, you know.
So let's talk about your clip that went viral. You did the Kill Tony set, and then you had a killer interview afterwards, and Joe Rogan gave you some compliments, and that clip went viral. I'd say. I mean, it had millions of views. So walk me through that moment in the history of Tim Warner.
Well, there's kind of a pregame, I guess, to that in a sense, because the set before, which was maybe 8-10 months before the Rogan thing, I think it was like March of the year before. I on stage thought it didn't do that well. It wasn't the greatest, but it wasn't as bad as I thought it was. And then the interview was just basically like my dad died, I don't know, 6 weeks before. So I was kind of just going through the motions of things because Batman lost his Joker. And it's like, what is Batman going to do? His villain's gone. How do I know I'm Batman? And I was just going through the motions. So then I did this set and I kind of mentioned like, yeah, I wanted to kind of do well on here, kind of give a fuck you to the old man. And it didn't go that way. And then they just kind of made fun of me because of that. And, you know, they a lot of their jokes, I don't think they understand, really hit. Like, really hit. And so then when I came back on for the Rogan thing, and it was like the set was but then the interview was that's, I think, what kind of created the somewhat storyline. And that moment, it's honestly, I gave up. I basically had a moment where I was like, well, I just ate a dick. That didn't go the way I wanted, and it should have gone better. I don't give a shit. And then he said the thing about look at you counting miles. And I was just like, no, I don't count the miles. Fucking thing does it. And then, you know, audience laughs. And I was like, yeah, that kid is kind of funny, but, you know, it's me kind of being a dick. And then, I don't know, the other stuff just started coming. And because I just felt like, honestly, dude, I felt like somewhat my career was over in a sense. Like I wasn't going to dig out of those 2 holes in a row. And as it started rolling, and it was kind of like, honestly, it didn't feel like anything amazing because it's like, I've done that so many times with the fucking cameras on.
Sure.
So then all of a sudden, I honestly knew there was a moment where I kind of felt like I was in New York. And I was at like an Under St. Mark's or something. Where it was
comics. It was comics busting balls at that point, and it was just funny. I mean, they would say something funny, you would say something funny back, and you just got everybody on your side. And it wasn't like they weren't. I mean, everybody was just. I mean, you talk about oneness. I felt like that was sort of a unifier thing. That, you know, they took a jab at you, you had a jab back. And it was funny on both ends, and then all of a sudden, it's kind of a united front, and it was really cool to see. And I do not know much about Kill Tony. I've never been to a live one. I've only seen your clip is probably one of 2 or 3 clips I've watched ever. I don't know. Like, does anybody ever do good on the stand-up thing? Like I genuinely don't know. It does happen. Okay.
Yes.
I don't even know. Because I feel like to an extent, doesn't the audience kind of not want them to do good because then it's sort of funnier after, or is that not the case?
I honestly, dude, I think it's a mix. Because it's like, imagine if, quote unquote, you could see the future now.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Or you get someone like a one-liner, come out. He could fucking bang out like 4 or 5 one-liners if they're all good. It's like that's a great minute. I think people do like that, and I think people also do like all right, that didn't go well. Well, what the fuck's your story? Like, are you a mess, or are you just so? I think that's fun, you know. But yeah, there are some people. I think like right now, this kid Ari Mata, is just he's got the structure, and the delivery, timing of things. He's like a composer because he uses rests as well, like the
Oh,
silence,
cool.
facial stuff. He really delivers his shit well, and he's also charismatic to watch. So even if he does have like a 20-second premise, you're coming in, you're roped in, and then usually the punchline is worth it. But that it's I think it's more notorious, I guess, in a sense, or more legendary when people just fucking bomb.
Sure.
I think
Yeah.
people do like that because there is there's a weird courage there that I don't think a lot of people understand. It's like you go up on the stage, you got your shield and your armor and shit, and then when your stuff doesn't work,
Yeah.
now you're naked in battle.
And you
The
just
armor's
gotta
gone.
you just gotta sit in it, and then you're gonna be asked about it. So I mean, I get why people watch it. Like I get why it's intriguing.
Yeah. Well, and also there's been some guests on the panel and so forth that's been
Right.
fascinating. Roseanne was on one time actually giving like amazing advice to every person that went up instead of just like kind of like bashing them, but was just kind of like, hey, tell me about your family. And then this girl starts talking about her family, and then shit's funny. And Roseanne's like, you should be doing more of that. That's the stuff you should be writing. Like that was fascinating. Obviously the Donald Trump and Joe Biden one with Shane.
Oh yeah, they have the
right?
yeah.
Oh, it's hilarious. It's hilarious. But yeah, it's captivated an audience, man. I mean, they got like over 1 million something fucking subscribers. It's insane.
Yeah.
It's beautiful because it's like, here's an idea. We're just going to do this at the smallest room in the Comedy Store. And now they just fucking did, 2 nights at MSG. That's
crazy.
That is so inspiring no matter what you think about the show, the host, the thing, Rogan, whatever it is. That is just inspiring. You literally can watch a man plant a seed and this fucking, not even just a forest, just fucking grows.
Well, and you can just build something, whatever it is you're going to build. I mean, you can really build it without any gatekeepers now. I mean, it's not easy because you're still competing with everything else on the internet, but It's not impossible. No. And, we have more technology. What was the thing Patton Oswalt said at that one Just for Laughs some years ago? It's something like we have more technology in our pockets than a movie studio did in the 30s and 40s.
Yes.
There is something. So, which brings me to my next topic, dude. And this was, you were definitely somebody I wanted to have on this podcast. But when I watched Quitter, which of course at the end you're going to tell everyone where they can find it, that was what made me just reach out to you immediately. I really loved it. I liked it a lot. And I'll tell you this, and take this as a compliment because it is one. As I was watching it, I was enjoying it, and then as soon as it was over, I was a little mad. And the reason I was mad is because a couple years ago, I made it was supposed to be a pilot, but it ended up just being a short film because we never got funding for anything else. But I made a project called Loner.
I saw that.
Did you see Loner? So they're two very different things. I mean, like a little bit of a similar title, but two very different things. But the tone that you got in Quitter was the tone that I wanted in Loner. It was what I had in mind as I was writing Loner. Mm-hmm. And I feel like I didn't get in Loner. When I watch Loner, I don't love it. I don't hate it. but I feel like the sort of tone, and when I say that, I don't mean like they should have been similar, like they're two completely different things, but the tone that you captured with a phone was what I wanted in Loner and didn't get, and I was like, God damn it, that was what I was supposed to do, and good for Tim. Tim frickin' did it. That was what I wanted to do and didn't do and should have done. Lesson frickin' learned, and you just did it with a phone.
Oh, dude, I can't even tell you. This is the scariest thing I ever put together.
Yeah.
And without a doubt. Because the idea came from, so yeah, like you mentioned, I had the Rogan Kill Tony thing that got me a lot of YouTube support, so forth. And then I only really put out a few things, nothing else. And I've been basically prioritizing getting out of debt so I can get a place to live, and then be able to have a headquarters, go from there. So first time I ever kind of not prioritized comedy in a sense. And I thought to myself, how do I tell the audience what I've been up to? Because I just don't want to like talk into a fucking camera.
Mm-hmm.
And then I don't know, I just started thinking, and then it was like, why don't you just show like a basic day of your life in a sense, so people could see what you've been up to? And just like everything, it's like ironing. Paul Thomas Anderson said that. Like you write a script, it's like you write a little bit, and then you put it down. Next day, you write a little bit more, then you go over it again. Next day, yada yada, and it just grew into that, like the idea of like, yeah, I quit fucking abusing myself. And then this idea of like, should I quit comedy? And then it's kind of like, at the end of the day, there's all these other things that we should quit that get in the way of our dreams, in a sense. And it's all stuff that's up here, you know? And then honestly, dude, I grew up in a spoiled fucking time when like independent movies and shit were taking off, and like, so your Reservoir Dogs and your Clerks and your Hard Eight, and even like oh shit, I can see the cover, but Sling Blade, and what Robert Rodriguez I think did El Mariachi with just a camera, and he shot it from like 11 to 1 every day to get the best lighting. And a lot of that just came out. And it was like, how do I want to present this? And it's also like, how do I keep the audience watching? Because I'm not going to lie, there's monetization involved as well. So how can I do this? And then I just enjoyed the project so much that I think I'm going to make like a web series in a sense.
That's cool, man.
Someone described it as like an unsuccessful Louis in Austin. And that just made me blossom into like just these like kind of little moments that fucking happen in comedy, and that are just really humanistic. Even though I feel like overall, because we in a sense joke about everything, we're not necessarily humanistic as comics in a sense, the empathy's got to be tuned down if you're really trying to fucking do jokes about things. But unless you're punching up, you're sitting there bashing the right people that need to be bashed, then it's a little different. But in order to maybe get some people to stop and just think about it, because I think that's another thing that's not happening, my man. And that's what I loved about Quitter, was like how many shots spoke without any dialogue. That was another thing I tried to do too. Like even in the first opening 30 seconds, dude, it's just 5 shots that says so much.
Yeah.
Light traffic, Walmart, the car, me sleeping in it, the alarm going off, title card. It was just And I was lucky enough to work with a gentleman, Nick Corey, who I got to sat down and really explain my vision. I had like a half written kind of thing for him. And once we got rolling, dude, it was fucking effortless to work together. And he had ideas, and there were some things that I thought he just made it all fucking work. So I got lucky in that aspect. But I'd like to do more of that, just using one camera and trying to make like a web series. I don't know, see what happens, you know?
Was the only tool you had, was it literally just the phone? Like, was there even an external mic, or walk me through that?
No. And again, dude, some of that shit got lucky. Like the morning sounds, hearing crickets, and then in the like early afternoon, you could hear the birds around. We just got fucking lucky. But I am gonna get some like whatever lavalier mics or whatever they're called, and so forth, and maybe have some characters. And I don't know, because I really enjoyed it, and I've also been thinking about how do I get out of doing Uber, how do I become independent, and it's like YouTube.
Yeah.
There is a path, and I see the path, you know. So now I'm just kind of thinking about how do I really want to kind of set up and brand my channel, because now I feel like almost everyone's done the same thing. You know, it's like, what am I going to do? Another podcast? You know, like, I don't know. Not that there should be a gimmick, but I think there's a different way to comedically speak to people. And I just want to explore all of it, you know?
Well, I thought it was so cool. I mean, especially, I mean, I've lived in a car before too. And I think anyone who's lived in a car before, like that really pulled at them big time. Especially if they realize how you made it, you know? I mean, it's so freaking cool. And yeah, you talked about that opening scene. I mean, that just pulled me in right away. And then seeing you take the covers off the car, seeing you chug the Red Bull, I was like, oh, geez, Tim needs to get into some ginseng. He's got to get off that stuff. It's bad for you.
Yeah, it's all bad for you, dude. I mean,
yeah, I know.
I'm sitting there eating strawberries, and then I have someone tell me like, oh, dude, the strawberries with the fucking red dye or whatever else, that's fucking all. You got to get organic. And I was like, gee, here I am. It's like, you know what I mean? It's like, you know how many powders I used to sniff up my fucking nose? Like, let me eat these shitty strawberries for now. I'll move up to the organic. Jeez. It's like a loan company that only calls you when you don't pay. Like, they never call you when it's like, hey, Mr. Warner, we just want to say, dude, you got 6 payments in a row on time or earlier. That's fucking awesome. We just want to say thanks. You think you're great. You know, it's always, sir, you're 2 weeks behind. So you don't think I know this. It's 8:30 in the morning. What the fuck am I going to do at 8:30 in the morning when banks open at 9 to pay this loan? Like, stop this. Sorry, but you get my point.
No, man, it's great. Well, do you think your permanent base will be in Austin? Like where do you think you might go?
I have no idea, because the thing the thing I'm thinking about, and I think I'm trying to work to, is if I can get YouTube to say pay rent, right? Mm-hmm. That means YouTube would be able to pay my bills. And then I wonder if I could go to other cities. But I kind of want to, I don't know. I don't know how to do things when it comes to leveling up. And like you said before, the kind of like gatekeepers, but also like the managers and agents and things. Mm-hmm. It's like I said before, we're LLCs now. There's none of this.
Yeah, we
right?
are.
Right? So how do I want to run my business, and how can I? So like I'm thinking about, for example, like going live stream on YouTube once a week, and like how you're talking about where you interact with your audience and stuff. I think there's people that like to ask some questions about, comedy, or at least like maybe sobriety, or just maybe what I think about whatever. I don't know. And I want that intimacy, because then I can also look at numbers, see what cities, where it's like, wow, there's a shitload of people. I wonder if I rented out a room and then I'm going to do a thing, whatever it is. And that's that's a complete whole nother conversation because it doesn't have to be like, host, feature, headliner. I could have, maybe it's a city where I know someone who plays music. We'll do a show together. Maybe I'll
Sure.
fucking, whatever it is. But whatever gives people, as Coppola Harris says, a vibe. Got to make the vibes good.
It's all about the vibes.
Yeah. So, but I mean, that's in a sense like I don't know, she says it wrongly and uses it incorrectly to manipulate the masses. But I want to use it in a way to remind people just the human spirit. That's like I don't know. You watch a lot of Neil Brennan.
I don't actually.
At all?
I'm just
Okay.
not familiar. Yeah.
That's fine. He's got a special on Netflix I would highly recommend. It's called Block. Okay. And it's just a fascinating way to do a stand-up. He has like these things behind him, and he kind of picks one, and it, maybe it's social media, like women, something, or whatever, and he picks it and kind of talks about it. And he's got a lot of like mental health shit. He's not, depression, fucking things of that nature and all of that. He's done a lot of shit to his head, whether it's medicine, shock treatment, like fucking, it's a huge list to just try to feel normal. So a lot of his shit is about kind of the mentalness that we have, the little quirks, things, how we question, how we talk to ourselves, et cetera, et cetera. And I kind of want to do that, but with like more of, like I mentioned earlier, human spirit and the human condition. I really think it is, I said in the beginning, kind of jokingly, but somewhat serious. Like, dude, this is a fucking miracle that we're here.
Yeah.
The odds of the sperm get into the fucking egg, it's like 1 out of a million or something fucking stupid. And then we're here. And the fact that you do wake up another day, you're really not guaranteed this shit. To look at a sunset, to feel a breeze. Like if you actually stopped and was like, dude, if I was dead, I couldn't experience anything. What I want to do to experience traffic jam, to just sit in traffic and be miserable with air conditioning that doesn't work and a radio that only plays AM. You know what I want to do to feel that again? Because I would love to feel again some fucking dead. So it's like, we need the reminders. I just feel like, and I don't know. I look around, especially when I travel the country. There's just a lot of people not happy, and a lot of that, dude. It's and believe me, I had to go through it. I'm guilty as charged, and like, it's inside. You literally can't change the world. You can change the fucking world. Any human could do that. And it's just changing your perspective. You see the world differently, it will change. If you think the world sucks and everyone's out to get you and you can't trust anybody, that's all you're ever going to fucking experience. But if you switch a little bit and you go, maybe half of them I could trust, maybe, that changes so many things, And I think comedy is the best way to do it, Like it's got to evolve, The presentation of stand-ups pretty much been the same throughout ever since Gestures. They basically went up in front of a brick wall to try to entertain the king. So I think there's got to be like just elements that could change. And I think with the new technology and ways that you can kind of interact with an audience in ways that we couldn't before, I think that's what it's about. I remember seeing Charlie Pride in like Tammy Wynette when I was like 6 years old, some country shit somewhere, my parents. And Charlie Pride put a table out front of the stage after the show and signed every fucking thing or took pictures with every fucking person that was in that line until they were done. There was no time limit. That's what he did. What else? I went and saw a dumb Andrew WK.
Oh, yeah.
After his show, dude, that guy fucking hangs out.
Yeah, of course he does.
Everything.
Yeah.
Dude, that's what it's about, man. Like
You
that's what
can't
people
not have
need.
fun at an Andrew WK show, even if you don't love the music. It's just so they're having so much fun. It's
You're
infectious.
still in Seattle, right?
No, I'm in LA.
No, you're in LA. Okay.
No, I left Seattle shortly after you did, and I lived around in a couple places. I was in Nashville for a few years. I was back in Pittsburgh for a little bit, and yeah, I've been in LA since 2016.
Okay.
So
That the great thing about that Seattle in that grunge era, I feel like that time we had leaders. Whether
yeah,
it was maybe Eddie Vedder at an MTV Unplugged, writing fucking abortion on his arm, whatever else, right? Whether you had a Charles Barkley kind of doing a commercial of like, dude, I ain't your fucking role model, just a basketball player, and like things of that. Like I feel like we don't have any voices anymore. We just have a bunch of tweets.
yeah, dude.
You know?
Yeah.
And I don't know where the voice is. I'm not saying anyone needs to be led. I don't see, but like, there's so many things now that aren't truth. And this is where I find it hard to kind of really come out with a lot of comedy, mass produce it, is because they're really like, there aren't truths to rail against. You can look up anything and it could go one side or another side. Whatever rabbit hole you fall down, you'll find that information.
Right.
There's so many, like, dude, I have questions about the universe I thought I never would. We went over this in fucking earth science. We went over this in fucking high school, you know? And now it's just, there's aliens? What I find fascinating is, dude, growing up, there were these tabloid magazines that had like aliens, Sasquatch, fucking all this shit. And now those, and then there was like Time magazine and Life magazine and whatever,
Right.
which was like real stuff. And now it seems like Time and Life and the tabloids are the fucking real shit. Like it's weird. So it's hard. I think it's a very challenging time to really get hard fucking hitting punchlines without being low hanging fruit and fucking, bottom of the barrel type of stuff.
Are you happy?
No. But that's because I have more work to do. That's me stuff. Being sober, I see the errors of so much of my way, and how I could not be in this situation if I just made different life choices. Maybe told 5 less people to go fuck themselves, even if it was appropriate. Things of that nature. That I did it. Now looking back, who gives a shit? I don't even know where those people are, or what they're doing. And so the acceptance is I'm accepting it, but the forgiveness has been challenging to do. Forgiving myself. I'm getting better at it. I'm doing better at forgiving others to kind of teach me how to forgive myself. But I do, my past kind of does pop up here and there, and I kind of get some new memories of things that I forgot. Maybe people, I was like, oh man, I hurt them. I got to put them on an amends list. But I know I'm striving towards things I want. I'm not unhappy. I seem to have a good effect on people. I have an unbelievable YouTube audience. I got 12,500 subscribers. But those people that are there, they're on board. They're enjoying my work. They're engaging, and I think that's the seed of something gonna blossom. But yeah, I'm not unhappy, but I wouldn't say I'm happy. And I don't even know what that feeling is. I think it might be like a rainbow, where, all right, let me get to the end of the rainbow, and you keep driving, and you just never get to it. And I don't mean that in a negative way. It's just because your standards get raised. Like you get to a point, It's like, okay, I got that. Cool. You know what? Maybe I should strive for this now that I'm here. So I guess the happiness would go up as the more you accomplish things, but that like happy, probably my last breath is probably like.
Where can people go to find all your stuff? Where can they find Quitter? Tell everybody where to go.
YouTube.com. I am Tim Warner. That's pretty much that. And if you want to know more from there, you can find the other social sites and everything. But YouTube is the thing that I'm loving, I'm working on, and I enjoy doing the most.
Tim, it's great to talk to you, man. Thanks so much for doing this.
Hey, thanks for hitting me up, man. It's been a while. I honestly didn't expect like so many like just good questions that got me like thinking, instead of like, like, oh, let me do a funny thing here, but like actually got me thinking. That's fucking great. Like, I appreciate that. I appreciate that a lot. It's yeah, that's some good dialogue there, I think.
That was Tim Warner. Check out all of his stuff. Subscribe to his YouTube channel and watch Quitter. And hey, if you're up for a fun experiment, watch Quitter and then watch Loner, my short film Loner, and see if you get what I mean. And when I say this, I'm not. This is more of a compliment to Quitter than it is meant to be disparaging of Loner. I really love making Loner, and I have all the gratitude and appreciation in the world for everybody involved with Loner. It's just, there was a certain vibe of solitude that I was trying to capture in Loner that I just felt like it didn't get there. I mean, exclusively my fault, by the way. Like totally, like it's on me. But I felt like Quitter really nailed it, and yeah, it's interesting that Quitter was made only on a phone, just a phone, whereas Loner had a lighting and a full camera, and people were mic'd up, et cetera, et cetera. I don't know, just something to ponder, especially for those filmmakers in the crowd. Music for the 1000 Podcast is provided by Andrew Saxon. Be sure to check out his podcast, The Baywatching Podcast, wherever you get your podcasts. Please do tell your friends. Make sure you're subscribed. Leave a review. It really helps this show grow. And if you want to help this show on the sustainability end, you can do so over on Patreon, patreon.com/Ron Placone. For Give What You Can level, you get all kinds of cool perks. You get a Zoom hangout once a month. You get full stand-up clips not released anywhere else. And I got a lot of stuff coming up in 2026. I'm not quite ready to make some announcements quite yet, but there is some stuff on the horizon for next year, and I'm super stoked for 2026. In the meantime, we are almost at the start of another decade. We're almost at 120. We're getting there, 119, and we're almost at the start of the new year. I want to take a moment to wish you all a happy and wonderful and safe holiday season and a wonderful new year. We'll be coming back at you next week, so we still got one more before the new year, and we got one final December episode, friend-isode, if you will. So that's coming up next week, and in the meantime, stay safe, have a wonderful holiday, and let me know what your plans are. By all means, I love it when people email me, ronplacone.com, ronplacone@gmail.com. If you want to skip the form on the website, it's just ronplaconebooking@gmail.com. What are your holiday plans? What's a recipe I need to be hip to? And catch you next week. Peace. Hey guys, Ron Placone here. Take your own 1,000 challenge. No, you don't need to interview 1,000 people, although if you want to do that, go for it. Your 1,000 challenge can be whatever you want. Maybe you want to call a friend out of the blue once a week. Maybe you want to read a book every month. Maybe you want to start a different garden every season. I guess that might be dependent on where you live. Look, the point of the challenge is taking on an endeavor that enriches your life in some way, and it can be measured. And then, of course, you do it regularly. That's what 1,000 is doing for me, and hopefully for you too. The main reason for this podcast and every podcast I've ever done is to build community. So take your own challenge. Then join our Facebook group. It's called 1,000 What's Your Challenge? ? That's 1,000 What's Your Challenge ? And post about what your 1,000 challenge is and the progress you're making. All I ask is that people be encouraging of each other's challenges. This is personal and vulnerable, so be cool. There's enough negativity on social media. We don't need to add to it. For those of you who aren't on Facebook, hopefully in the future we'll be expanding to places like Discord, Reddit, but for now, we're starting on Facebook. And again, that Facebook group is called 1000 What's Your Challenge? See you there.